Hi, I'm Twin. Welcome to my channel Issues of Contention. There are a lot of debatable issues people express different and polarizing opinions on. Weight loss is one of them. This is part 9 of my weight loss story, in which I'll tell you about my intake of minerals from food and supplements. I use the nutrition value calculator to estimate my actual intake of calories and nutrients. The web link is on the slide. For your information, on that website, you can create your own account for free, enter all food products and portions you typically eat in a day, save your output. I entered all data on the food products I eat for breakfast. This is for breakfast, for lunch, second meal, lunch, second meal, and then for third meal, which I call dessert. As an output of nutrition value calculator, you can get the very detailed breakdown of your daily food intake into calories, nutrients, different ratios like omega-3 to omega-6, etc. Let's see what my daily intake of minerals from food is according to nutrition value calculator. Look at the table. I marked red the different intake of minerals and I marked red the deficient intake of minerals and the overdose. As you can see, I am deficient in calcium, 43% of daily value, iron, 72% of daily value, magnesium, 64% of DV, manganese, 26% of DV, potassium, 61% of DV. But on the other hand, I have an overdose on copper, 130% of DV, phosphorus, 177% of DV. Let's have a look at this table to see what kind of minerals I can get from one caplet of multivitamin supplements for men 50 plus. I'll move on. This table shows the combined intake of minerals from food and supplements. As you can see, that still leaves me deficient in, it's all marked red, in calcium, 47% of DV, iron, 75% of DV, magnesium, 73% of DV, manganese, 63% of DV, and then potassium, 61% of DV, zinc, 90% of DV, and an overdose on copper, 146% of DV, phosphorus, 177% of DV, selenium, 143% of DV. Let's check out the issue of mineral deficiency or overdose from internet to get the right answer. As you can see in the table, this is the last column, upper limits. Yeah. So let me move to calcium deficiency. Do I have any? Is there a problem? So with regard to calcium, according to Mayo Clinic, the RDA for 51 70-year-old males is 1000 milligrams a day. For females of 51 plus, it's 1200 milligrams a day. The recommended upper limit for calcium is 2500 milligrams a day for adults from 19 to 50, but those 55 plus, the limit is 2000 milligrams a day. My combined daily intake of calcium is 610 milligrams, that is 47% of daily value, most of which comes from food, 553 milligrams. Therefore, I can assume I can safely take an extra 390 milligrams a day of calcium and supplements. Though, according to Mayo Clinic, calcium supplements are not for everyone, since a person may have a health condition that causes excess calcium in bloodstream. This is called hypercalcemia. But there is a catch with calcium supplement. Look at the next two slides on calcium carbonate supplements. The two US health professionals, including one licensed MD, urge us to stop taking calcium supplements. And I did after watching their videos. You have a look at the slides. Dr. Eric Berg, DC, tells some studies show that high doses of calcium carbonate also do not increase bone density, but on the contrary, it did increase the risk of heart attack. A lot of people are taking massive doses of calcium carbonate, thinking that it will prevent bone loss when it could actually be creating other issues. According to Dr. Berry, calcium is also bad. Calcium supplements are also bad. He's a little bit more extreme on that side. Dr. Ken Berry goes further, suggesting stop taking the calcium supplement because it's not helping your bones and it is increasing your risk of serious medical problems. It's not vital for bone health. With regard to milk, he urges stop drinking more than one small glass of milk a day, since milk does not help your bones and it increases your risk of serious medical issues. And the overall conclusion from Dr. Berry is you do not need calcium supplements for your bones. Let me move to iron deficiency. Sorry, let me go back to Dr. Berry. I take Dr. Berry's advice seriously since he sounds very credible to me and he is the US licensed MD, so he definitely knows well what he's talking about. After watching these two videos of Dr. Berg and Dr. Berry, I stopped taking calcium supplements for now, apart from two multivitamin pills a week. Sorry, back to iron deficiency. With regard to iron, according to Nourish by WebMD, the RDA for iron for males 19 years and up is 8 milligrams a day. At high doses, iron is toxic. The upper limit is 45 milligrams a day. For children, it's 40 milligrams a day. My daily intake is 13.5 milligrams a day. That is 75% of daily value, including 13 milligrams coming from food. Therefore, I should not go above my actual daily intake of iron of 13.5 milligrams a day. Do I have overdose on magnesium? Let's have a look. With regard to magnesium, according to Healthline, the RDA for 51 plus year olds in the United States is 400, from 400 to 420 milligrams a day for men and 310 to 320 milligrams a day for women. Very large doses of magnesium, more than 5,000 milligrams a day, is associated with magnesium toxicity. My daily intake of magnesium is around 300 milligrams, 290 milligrams. That is 73% of daily value. Therefore, I can safely take an extra 110 milligrams a day of magnesium in supplements. What I actually do, I take 3 pills of 400 milligram magnesium a week. Manganese deficiency. Is there any in my diet? With regard to manganese, according to Healthline, RDA for manganese is 1.8 from 1.8 to 2.3 milligrams a day. The upper tolerable intake level is 11 milligrams a day for adults. Like zinc, copper, selenium, and iron, manganese is a heavy metal, and overconsumption of it can be dangerous. My daily intake of manganese is 1.46 milligrams. It is 63% of DV. Therefore, my intake of manganese is below the recommended level, and I should consume more of it, at least an extra from 0.4 to 0.9 milligrams a day in supplements. The problem is, though, that most of the manganese supplements come in the 5 milligram or 8 milligram pill dosage. That is way too much. For that reason, at the moment, I take no manganese supplements. Potassium deficiency, is there any in my diet? With regard to potassium, according to Healthline, 98% of adults in the United States do not consume enough potassium. RDA for potassium does not exist. That's a strange thing. WHO and some countries like UK, Spain, Mexico, Belgium recommend to take 3,500 milligrams a day of potassium. Other countries, US, Canada, South Korea, Bulgaria, for example, and others recommend consuming at least 4,700 milligrams a day through food. Some people may need less potassium than others, for example, those taking blood pressure medication. My daily intake of potassium is below 3,000 milligrams, which is 61% of daily value. Do I need potassium supplements? According to Healthline, potassium supplements are not great sources of potassium. For that reason, the US FDA limits over-the-counter potassium chloride supplements to just 2% of US daily recommendation. What is my takeaway on potassium? Healthline believes that healthy adults should consume from 3500 to 4700 milligrams of potassium daily from food. Even though I consume only 61% of recommended potassium daily value, I am not increasing my intake of potassium from supplements because I am on BP medication. I take losartan potassium daily for blood pressure. That should give me sufficient amount of potassium. Your case might be different. Let me move to zinc deficiency. With regard to zinc, according to Mayo Clinic, the recommended daily amount of zinc is 8 milligrams a day for women and 11 milligrams a day for men. My daily intake of zinc is 11 milligrams, which is exactly the right amount, so I do need more than that. Overdose on copper. Is there any in my diet? With regard to copper, according to U.S. Institute of Medical Report, the US RDA for adult men and women is 900 micrograms a day. Median intake in the US is from 1 to 1.6 milligrams a day. Tolerable upper intake of copper is 10 milligrams a day. My daily intake of copper is 1.31 milligrams, that is 146% of daily value, including 1.1 milligram coming from food. That amount is safe with no risk of overdose or deficiency. Phosphorus. With regard to phosphorus, according to US National Institutes of Health, RDA for phosphorus is 700 milligrams a day for adults. Upper tolerable level is 3000 milligrams a day. Do I have overdose on phosphorus? As to overdose on phosphorus, US National Institutes of Health believe that the real US average daily phosphorus intake is 1300 milligrams for women and 1700 milligrams for men, or higher than reported. It is because experts question whether data collection instruments in the United States capture true dietary phosphorus intake, believing that they do not account for phosphate additives in food. My daily intake of phosphorus is 1236 milligrams. This is 177% of daily value. Therefore, I think that my daily intake of phosphorus on the overdose side, and that it would be very desirable to get less phosphorus considering the presence of phosphates hidden in food, unless someone goes organic. I personally do not. Is there any overdose on selenium? With regard to selenium, according to National Institutes of Health, average daily selenium intake by Americans in food and supplements is 120 micrograms, including 108 from foods. From 18 to 19% of adults and children use supplement containing selenium. My daily intake of selenium is 78 micrograms. This is 143% of daily value, including 55 micrograms from food. Considering that average Americans get twice as much selenium as I do, I'm on the safe side and can continue getting the same daily selenium intake of 78 micrograms a day. In my next video, I'll tell you about my intermittent fasting schedule. Thank you for watching.